the process of thinking, designing, and actually making of a building. It's the constant feedback between the two that we think makes for really good buildings.
Architects over time have reduced their scope and removed themselves for a whole host of reasons having to do with responsibility and risk, and pulled themselves back and defined more and more tightly the scope of what their work is. But what's happened is they've removed themselves more and more from construction, because construction is where a lot of this risk occurs. So the further apart the industry as a whole gets from the construction, the less knowledge architects in general have about the very thing that they're supposedly making.
For us doing architect-led design build, it's basically adding all of the things that traditionally and normally are considered separate and really bringing them all together into a whole.
Its backbone is that those design ideas are ultimately going to be buildings. And to be able to make those buildings work, we've taken on the role of constructor.
When the project moves to the site and actually begins to being built, the people who actually were designing it become the people on the job supers, the people running the job.
We don't have two separate arms. We're not two separate companies. It's the same people are dealing with the client all the way through design and construction, because we are in fact the same people who are both designing and building.
It means that, you know, once somebody has an experience out there, once an architect has been out on site, when they come back to the office, they're completely different people. They think differently, they draw differently, they design differently, they build models differently, they communicate differently.
Thinking not only of the design implications, but the cost implications, the time implications, and it influences the design.
So the young people that have had that experience, that have been out in the field and then come back in the office, I think that becomes a part of them, part of their skill set, a part of how they think.
And because we have that knowledge of construction as well as design, I think we're really able to develop a pretty detailed and nuanced list of options for clients to have and look at and compare and develop a thoughtful priority list. And so I think, you know, our process really empowers clients to make decisions.